Okay, so I got an email from a lovely chap called Graham. Hi Graham. Requesting a review of the latest BBC hit, Jekyll. I must admit, when I read that email, I did a bit of a double take, because even though I've watched Jekyll almost obsessively, it never occurred to me to do a review of it. I'm that smart. So, I have a few thoughts, starting with Stephen Moffat. I've never watched a series purely because of the writer before. Okay, so maybe I rented The Second Coming because Russell T Davies had written it, but you know, I also wanted to see Christopher Eccleston, so... But Jekyll, purely watching it because it was written by Stephen Moffat. I didn't really know any of the actors who were going to be appearing in Jekyll, and to be honest, I didn't care. I saw the name Stephen Moffat, and I knew I had to watch it. Why? Because he's a genius! He's written some of the most intelligent episodes of Doctor Who since it came back in 2005. So I figured that anything connected with him was worth a try. Clearly my judgment is brilliant, because I was so right about Jekyll being worth watching. If you've really managed to miss it, where the hell have you been? I mean seriously, what else have you been watching on Saturday evenings? Hang on, let me get the old telly guide. I'll see what you folks have been watching. Okay then, let's see. Right, okay. BBC One, 9, we've got Jekyll, of course. BBC Two, there's something about British film. ITV, Jaws. Okay, I can kind of understand that, but they haven't been showing that every week, have they? Ooh, on Channel 4 there is a film called Rat Race starring Seth Green. I might in fact watch that. Gotta make a note to just take Rat Race. Here I see it, right. Channel 5, CSI. Now I can see that that would be a strong contender. But still, watch Jekyll! No! Talking to the review, people! Who want to hear my opinions? Right, so the basic premise of Jekyll is the old Jekyll and Hyde story that we all know and love, but it's set in modern day Britain. Before I go any further, how many of you folks who have actually watched Jekyll know the original story? How many people asked their English teacher to get it for them? How many people sat there in the library, all alone, reading it? Just me. Oh, you may have watched that Buffy episode where that guy drinks that potion and nearly kills his girlfriend Debbie. Actually, does he kill Debbie? I haven't watched that episode for a while. You may have watched Julia Jekyll and Harriet Hyde as a child. I certainly did. But if you actually locate and read the original book, you might be surprised. What we assume to be the original story is actually the Hollywood version of it. Hyde is big and muscly and scary, right? Wrong! Hyde is supposed to be smaller than Dr. Jekyll, kind of deformed without being visibly deformed, so that other people find him repulsive but have no idea why. But enough of my ranting about literature, back to the series. Might just shut the window because my mother can hear everything and I know that she thinks I sound like a freak. Don't you, Mum? Can you hear everything that I'm saying? Yes. It's alright, she can only hear mumbling. Where was I? Okay, so if I could sum it up in one word, wow, just wow. Because it's so very, very clever. I personally, being a bit of a geek, was fascinated by the way that modern day technology is kind of drawn into it. The dictaphone especially, I thought that was very clever. As a viewer, you're invited to enjoy a very kind of old-fashioned and, you know, a horror story that's been used a lot, but it's completely tied to the present by making technology an essential part of it. Which is much better than those series that are just set in the present for the sake of it or to attract an audience. Like modern day versions of Shakespeare. No problem with that, but you can see that the only reason they're in the present day is to get teenagers watching it. Jekyll feels right in the present and a lot scarier for it. The sterile lair that the baddies have set up for themselves is all sterile and white and shiny and creepy. And it's great! I refuse to call it headquarters. But apart from the gorgeous design and the very clever writing, the acting... Dear goodness, the acting! James Nesbitt. I'm sure I've seen him in other stuff and kind of disregarded him, maybe thought of him as good as in passing. The part requires him to play two completely different characters, and he's done it really well. Dr. Jackman and Hyde are so different, and not just because of the lines, but because of their voices, inflection, gesture, movement. All the stuff I've been forced to write about in drama classes. I can now apply it. My teacher would be proud. A word of praise should also be given to the prosthetics. Liking the chin, especially, I think that's very nice. It's subtle, but enough to make Hyde look completely different. But anyway, here's where the but comes in. Do have a bit of constructive criticism, a bit of concrete to share. Not that it'll ever reach anybody at the BBC or matter to anyone, but here's my 2 cents anyway. At times this series has moved quite slowly, and I found myself clock watching, which is never really a good thing. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. The flashback sequences can also be quite irritating. I like short, snappy, infrequent flashbacks just to add something to the current episode. Kind of gives you a taste of how things began without drowning the plot of the current episode. But at times the episodes are definitely underwater and flailing about a bit because they're too heavy on flashback material. But you know, can't please everyone, I suppose. But you know what? It is a fantastic series, or rather it has been. I think it's coming to a close pretty soon, which is a real shame. So if you have been watching it, you've got excellent taste. If not, quite simply, you've missed out. Keep watching Eevee TV for more reviews. Don't turn your back, don't look away, and don't blink. Good luck.